Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
Hey.
Hello
Yeah.
on a Sunday.
Sunday. Sunday fun day.
No, Sundays are never fun days.
Why?
Because it's the day before going back to work.
Yeah. It's kind of a defeatist attitude, though.
Sundays are like just chill and be slugs so that you go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I think Sundays are pretty cool. As long as I'm resting. As long as there's nothing that I have to do on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't avoid it, though. Sometimes there's things you have to do. So, like if somebody schedules something,
Oh, yeah.
then it's like, well, yeah. And
I don't get Sunday brunch. Like, why can't it be Saturday brunch? Why Sunday brunch?
I don't know.
It's like, I don't want to do anything on Sundays.
Yeah, I think Sundays are basically, in American culture, there's basically three things: church, brunch, and football. So it's kind of like, take your pick. Yeah.
I only like brunch out of the three.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be chill. And I think for a lot of people, things that are chill are effort to people who are like introverts,
Yeah. I guess football is chill. You just sit and watch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well, and I guess it depends. Like if you're the type of person who has like people over all the time,
Yeah.
or like every game is like a big deal,
Oh, yeah.
Like if I live like in Green Bay or something, where it's cold and you have basically there's really nothing else you can do except sit in front of the television. I totally get it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but we live in Southern California, so it's kind of like there's so many options. I mean, even when we go to brunch, it's not like a normal brunch. It's like looking over the Pacific Ocean. It's like at Tom Ham's,
Yeah. Even like today when it's supposed to rain, it's sunny out here right now, but maybe in the afternoon it's going to rain. It says like 85% rain.
Yeah, and it's not raining right now, and it's we're recording this at 12:42, so that's your basically past brunch time. So people have already had brunch, So yeah, it's interesting. Different parts of the country, different cultures. It's funny because I know kids, like I used to go to church as a kid, and it used to be fun, but now I see
Me
like
too.
people now when people become adults, it's more like a chore.
Yeah.
It's like something I gotta do.
Well, church for us, Catholic churches, doesn't take that long. It's only like 45 minutes. Mass is only 45 to an hour, so it doesn't take up that much time for Catholics at least.
Yeah. And but you guys weren't Catholic till you were an adult though.
Yeah.
You were Buddhist. Did you ever?
When I was a teenager, we went with my my dad's family. So my stepdad's family. But yeah, Buddhist temples. When I was a kid, like I did have to spend all day at the temple with other kids because my great grandparents would go and then they would help, and then there's this feast. So it's similar to a Christian church where it's a all day thing. And then when I was older, we went to mass. I was like, oh, this is better. It's only 45 minutes. But yeah.
Yeah. See, because most people think Catholic churches are a big production. They think that's intense.
But it's only an hour.
You're comparing it to Buddhist, but most people don't have. Most people are just comparing it to
well, my friends who are Christian, they said church is like an all day thing.
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
Southern Baptist and stuff.
With Catholic, you just go to mass and go.
Yeah.
Unless there's like a big picnic or whatever, not picnic, but festival or whatever, then you stay for the fun stuff. But otherwise, you just go.
Well, we talking about work. I used to have to go to work and church simultaneously. Cause I
Oh
used
yeah,
to,
when you were a social worker.
well, I was community outreach and I was an adoption worker. I would go to churches and the pastors would let me in and speak, and then I would get people to sign up for inquiries for adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rack up a lot.
Mm.
All these people spending money, like going to like fairs and, all these like kind of like modern type
Mhm.
events, street fairs and stuff. Even like the huge county fairs, where there's like tens of thousands of people. And they would come back with like 5 to 15 inquiries. I'd go to one church service and come back with like 30 to 50. Yeah, so yeah, churches do have their place definitely in the community. So I don't know why we got off on that.
Oh, Sunday. What do people do on Sundays?
Yeah,
Yes.
what are we doing Sunday? Well, a lot of people are at Disney.
A lot of people are at Disney because yesterday was the Gumball Rally.
Mm-hmm.
And then today's more like, I guess, a chill day at Disney for a lot of people, or people who didn't participate in the Gumball Rally here today. Today is actually an unofficial Villains Day for
Really?
Disney.
Oh,
Disneyland.
Disneyland. Oh yeah. Yeah, Disneyland has so many unofficial days.
I know. They just had one when we were there with Ahsoka Tano, unofficial, but Ashley
There was an
Eckert.
Ahsoka Tano Day?
Well, it was some meetup, Star Wars meetup, but Ashley Eckert showed up. So it was unofficial, but it was like sort of official, right? When she showed up and then did some
Yeah, that's
signing
not
or whatever,
more.
her meet and
Only
greet.
Rosario, if her and Rosario Dawson showed up, that's the only thing that can make it more official.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
it's
pretty
unofficial in
official.
terms of Disneyland Resort, but she
Mhm.
showed up and did some stuff. So that was cool.
We should make our own day. We should just get some celebrity and show up, Get like, I don't know, somebody who played somebody.
Well, like the Gumball Rally was unofficial, and Mice Chat does that every year, and it's a big thing, right? They rent the hall, like
Mhm.
the convention room, and everybody shows up and
That's a
signs
good
up.
idea. We could make we don't have to start big. we could just get together with our peeps and have some kind of unofficial official thing. Probably gonna revolve around food.
Yes. It's like planning a wedding, right? You rent a hall and
Yeah.
meet at the
Um,
parks.
So it's funny because next Sunday is Super Bowl,
Yes.
and then
Saturday is New Year.
everybody's getting, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are like, Taylor Swift is a force. I would just say that. It's even gone political. Like,
I
all these people-
know. Everybody has to make everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. And then it's like, and then there's football fans who are like, well, why are you always showing her? And when I was looking, it's like, well, they only show her like, like
Just like a few
two minutes
minutes.
out of a game.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, it's a distraction. I'm like, yeah, but she made over, just her being there,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was over $2 million in additional revenue for the
Wow.
NFL and the Chiefs. Just showing her, just her
See?
showing up. She doesn't even
That-
say anything.
That's fact. Joe Coy said that, and he got hated for it. He got hated because they said that his joke dissed Taylor, but that wasn't a diss. That was a fact.
I don't even know what
Like-
he said.
He said something about Taylor Swift being the person to increase NFL revenue or something along those lines. It was
Yeah.
more a diss to the NFL than her.
Yeah,
But people are, you know what?
it's
Leave
funny.
Joe alone.
Your favorite comedian.
Yeah, he sells out arenas. What are you guys doing? Anyways,
But I just think it's funny because I'm wondering, because me and you were having like a debate, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because we were wondering how crowded Disney
Yeah.
would be on Super Bowl Sunday,
right.
and you had a theory that
In the past, it
uh,
was probably crowded because the moms take the kids,
yeah,
right?
a lot of moms,
Yeah.
and it's everyone who just doesn't like football,
Right.
And then,
This
and a lot of
year-
moms do like football, but it's but yeah, kind of like on Father's Day, it's not crowded.
now we're getting a lot of Disney dads fans, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think all those old tropes are going away.
Yeah.
But now you had a theory that there's a lot. Taylor Swift has brought in so many young female fans
Right.
that there's going to be less people at the park.
Right, because I've seen a lot of videos where dads now can bond with their little daughters on football now, finally, because they're watching the game to get a glimpse of Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
So they're there watching football with their dad. So if she's going to be at the Super Bowl, those same girls will be, and moms,
Yeah.
right, will also watch the Super Bowl to get a glimpse of Taylor. Therefore, they won't be at Disneyland. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
So that was my theory on Super Bowl Sunday this year, at least.
We'll see. We'll be there the day before, but on Saturday,
Yeah.
the 10th, which is the first day of Lunar New Year,
Yeah.
officially.
It's actual Lunar New Year. yeah.
Actual Lunar New Year. So, but anybody who's going, we have relatives that are going the next day, so we'll check in with them, see what the ride times are. We'll be checking the apps. Yeah, it's an interesting theory. So, we still have our giveaway that's ongoing that ends on 2/24, and we'll actually be at a wedding that day. But my little cousin Rachel.
That's right. We're in Palm Springs.
Yeah. But we'll be doing a drawing the next day anyway. But yes, it is a Minnie Mouse crossbody. And all you have to do is DM us the answer to this question. What is your 2024 Disney resolution? And that could be anything. And then, don't put too much thought into it. Don't strain yourself. It's basically, it could be, I'm going to go to the parks this year. I didn't go last year.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be, I'm going to get a pass. Or it could be like, I'm going to see this particular movie, or I'm going to do a challenge, or I'm going to do one of the runs, or it could be pretty much anything. I'm going to get a particular toy, or I'm going to bring my little niece or nephew to Disney, or child to Disneyland for the first time. It could be pretty much anything you want, It could be listening to more rope dropping knowledge. So pretty much DM us the answer to that question to Facebook, Instagram, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. For every medium you use, you get an additional entry, and you must be 18 years or older and live in the United States. We already have a post of the giveaway item up on Facebook and Instagram, so you can go check it out. It's pretty cool. Minnie Mouse crossbody. All right. We went to Disney last week.
Yes, last Saturday. This was the first weekend of the Lunar New Year Festival. First weekend, because it was
pretty crowded at
Tuesday.
DCA because of the festival.
Yeah, pretty crowded.
Pretty hot. I mean,
And hot.
it was hotter than it was 80 degrees, but it was hotter than a normal 80 degrees. It was like super dry.
Yeah. It wasn't humid and muggy,
Yeah.
but that was the only day in the last, since whenever, it was hot. It's the hottest day since like November or something.
Yeah.
We happened to be there.
It's always extreme when we go there. So.
Yeah.
So far for the next Saturday, it looks like it's going to be sunny and cool, but that always seems to change. It's like the weather wants to punish us.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I think we're actually in better shape. So it was just kind of like, it was just like dry skin. I forgot to bring lotion. So that's the only thing that was really a pain. But walking around wasn't a big deal. It was fun.
No.
Yeah.
But we did chill a lot. We chilled because it was crowded. We sat. I got some.
Yeah, there
Lunar New
wasn't a
Year
lot of places
food.
to sit.
Yeah. Yeah. All the seats were taken up, and then.
Which is usually not a problem, but it's a problem when it's a food festival because everybody.
That's why all the seats were taken up, because there was a food festival.
And so now you have, and I always feel bad because I'm pretty good at finding seats.
Yeah.
We always do. But the thing about it is then I see, I'm sitting down at a table, like me and you, and then I see like a family of 5.
Well, especially if you're saving a table for me, then it's just you with no food around, and you're just sitting there.
No one's ever said anything, but I'll typically get up.
Yeah.
If I see somebody with kids, just
Mhm.
like when we were at Toontown that one day, and it was super
Oh
hot.
yeah.
And then I just see this guy and his wife, and they had like 4
Strollers
kids
and
strollers
stuff.
and stuff. I'm
And we're
like, "Dude,
like,
you guys
"Oh."
want a table?
Yeah.
It's like,
We're not gonna just sit there.
yeah.
We can sit on a bench or whatever. It's fine.
I'm in too much
Especially
of
if we're not eating anything, we're just sitting.
I spent my entire adult life in some type of service, whether it's social work or human resources. I can't like let people suffer if I can
Yeah.
avoid it. It's just it pains me. So.
Well, yeah, especially the food festival. So we split up. I stood in line to get food and stuff, while you went and sat. And no, not sat, but looked for a table
Mhm.
or a
Yeah.
seat, and you couldn't find any. Well, let's back up. We first got when we first got to DCA. We didn't get there till like in the noon time, lunchtime, and I went to the normal Kingsman camera shop or whatever to get the pass, the sip and savor pass.
Yeah.
And there was a long line.
Mhm.
I was like, what is going on? Maybe people found out the secret that they sell the pass here too and not
Yeah.
just at the food festival place. But
we,
no.
we did broadcast it. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, people were in line because they wanted the munchling, the Mickey hot dog bun munchling. And
Mhm.
this man was buying like 6 of them. The guy in front of me was buying like 2. And there's like people who want the Lunar New Year pins,
Mhm.
you know, the Mushu pin, and I don't know, Pete or whoever that dragon is
Yeah.
pin. But mostly it was the munching thing. I was like, oh man, jeez. So the guy was buying like 6 of them, and you know, I don't know, there was something going on where he was started yelling at the cast member, and then the cast
Like,
member.
I'll get the manager.
Yeah, the cast member had to make a call, and I was like, oh my gosh. Then the guy
Because
behind
there's
me.
probably a limit on them. And then he's probably just making a big deal like, no, I want my 6.
Oh yeah, maybe. I wasn't sure. He said something about limited edition, but I didn't know what that meant. And anyways, so he finally got out. But you know, if you're buying 6, you're not really buying it for yourself. So anyways, then people started like getting mad at him because they're like, you know, you're just buying it to resell and stuff. Anyways, so then it was my turn, and I just bought the pass and a pin, the Mushu pin.
Mhm.
And then we went to the food.
Mhm.
We got food. You went to find a seat, but you couldn't find anything. Not at Sonoma Terrace. Not at even Paradise Garden
Yeah.
Grill, where they had a lot of seats there, but no seats. So I was still in line. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna walk to. You told me just walk to the Hyperion Theater because there's a lot of seating there.
Yeah.
So I went all the way there, but
Hyperion Avengers Campus.
yeah, I went all the way there, and they boarded it up.
Yeah, it used to be a
So-
bunch of picnic tables back
Yeah,
there.
they boarded it up, and then but there were maybe like 10, you think, tables in
yeah.
front. So I found one and I sat there because nobody thought
Yeah.
to sit in Avengers Campus. Everybody's where the food festival is.
Yep.
So I got a seat and I called you and you walked over, and luckily for us, that's where the Lunar New Year Festival parade starts.
Yep.
In Hollywoodland.
Yeah.
Like where the Mission Breakout
Yep.
is. There's a little
There's
door.
The door.
Yeah,
The
the
gate.
door.
So we
so-
got front row sitting seats to that.
Yeah,
Which is pretty cool.
yeah. We
In
got
the
to eat
daytime.
and drink and watch the parade.
Yeah.
And then,
And then we went to Disneyland, rode a few rides.
yep, we rode Space Mountain and Thunder Mountain.
Mm-hmm. And then came back over.
Came back over, and then Carrie texted me, and she's like, "Did you see the Munchling hot dog bun? It's signed by the chef who designed it or something." And I'm like, "Oh, well, this morning there were a bunch of people in line for it and, screaming and yelling about it. And I was like, whatever, I'm not interested." But she's like, "No, but it's signed by the chef and it's sold out and everything." And I was like, "Well, in that case, let's go back and look and see what's going on." And then in the morning.
But that's not why we went into it. I think we just walked in there.
Yeah, we walked in and we thought we would just get one for her because she said that they don't have it at Disney World. Disneyland's the only place that has it. So we thought we'd get her one. And of course, you have to get ourselves one too. So we did. And they happened to be restocking it.
Yeah, and what was
When-
funny, and this is kind of like karma thing, like the people who were lined up, like the guy yelling in the morning,
Yeah.
They
he
got
didn't-
them, but they didn't get the signed ones.
Yeah,
because
so
the chef was there after that.
Yeah, so after I bought my Sip and Savor pass that morning, I saw them setting up a big table,
Right.
and I was like, "Oh, this is weird." So I thought it was some pin trading thing that they were setting up a table for us. So I
Yeah.
was like, whatever. So I just walked by, but it was actually later on I found out it was the chef coming to sign them.
Yeah.
And then if
He
you
was
were
signing
there,
them there at the park.
yeah, and then if you were there to buy one too, he would make it personal, like to
Mhm.
Brian or to Tracy or something
Yeah.
too. But he signed a bunch and left it. So when they were restocking, it had his signature. So the people who stood in line to buy in the morning didn't have his signature there.
Yeah.
So the version we got
Actually
had
has
his
a
little
signature.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got one for Carrie and one for ourselves.
Yep. See what happens when you don't have a to-do list?
I know. Even then, I was like feeling the FOMO. I was like, wait, everyone's in line to buy this. Should I buy one? I'm like, nah, I don't need it. It's fine. Like when Carrie texted me, I was like, okay, I'll buy one.
Mhm.
But I mean, she didn't ask us to buy it for her. She was just saying, hey, did you see blah blah blah? And then we just bought one for her and surprised her with it.
Yeah. They're little.
Yeah,
Little thing.
they're actually cute. They do look like the little bun, hot dog bun.
Yeah.
Um,
Doing, and this is, I think, just a life lesson, and this has nothing to do with buying stuff, but if you can do something that you consider small, tiny,
mhm.
and somebody gets joy out of it, like, do it. Like anything in life, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember I had a neighbor. You remember Wendy?
Yeah.
Before she passed away, and like a lot of people thought she was cranky and stuff, but she was just old.
Yeah.
But I just remember standing at the edge of the building, and I think I told this story before, how she was looking at the sunset because
Mhm.
our building overlooks pretty much a big chunk of San Diego because we're way
Mhm.
up high, and she liked it, and then I just took a picture of it with my phone and then printed it out, and I'm just knocked my door in here. And then after she passed away, her daughter came over and was like, we found this. She always cherished this.
Mhm.
To me, it was like a 3 to 5 minute thing.
Yeah.
But it's like those like little actions. You multiply those
Yeah.
by like whatever. And it's
Well, it's like little things
and
like you said.
yeah.
Giving a seat to a family.
and
Things
it's
like
not
that.
about us. Because, and the thing is what's so cool is that we're the recipients of that stuff.
Yeah.
Carrie does a lot of that stuff like for us too, and other people. So I don't know. I wish everyone had friends and family that did that for them.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is that fortunate. So,
Yeah.
but knowing that, sometimes you do it for people who are not your friends or family. So always try to have good intentions, I guess. So
Yeah.
it makes the world better. It makes things easier. And people remember those things, even if you forgot.
Yeah.
So,
So what else did we do? So then at night we of course sat at Sonoma Terrace to chill. And then the parade, front row seats to the parade again.
at night.
At night.
Yeah, so we got nighttime and daytime video. of the
So
parade.
those are the
Oh,
like
wow.
in DCA it's really easy to get cool front row seat spots with
parades.
seats
Mhm.
to you don't have to sit on the curb and stuff like at
Yeah.
Disneyland. So that's why we like DCA. It's like chill and
It's
a lot of action
compact.
going on.
Yeah, lots of places. I mean, even though there weren't that many places to sit when we went, but still a lot more than Disneyland.
Yeah.
Disneyland, you're sitting on curbs. You're, people are like blocking stuff, and
Yeah.
there's very few cast members with the things saying "this way only."
Oh yeah.
Once in a while, but then it goes by quick.
Yeah.
And you never have to like go through like a maze to, even if they do block a section, it's not hard to get around
Mhm.
because it's just
Well, we'll
smaller.
see how it is if Paint the Night ever comes back. Maybe
Paint
it'll
the
be
Night,
crazy.
it'd be worth it though. Paint the Night
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
I don't know why they want to bring that back, but so yeah, we'll be back. We still have no one got the pin in part
Oh
giveaway.
yeah, we still have the pin to give away.
So yeah. All right, what do we got? For headlines?
So, we forgot to mention that we stayed at the Marriott, the Sheraton,
Yeah, for the first time in
in
years.
years, and we didn't know, but I got there to check in, and they were like, "Oh, just to let you know, there's a strike going on. It's the Teamsters something, but anyways, it's for the hospitality workers, so front desk, housekeeping,
Hmm.
room service, things like that. And so they're like, so we're giving you a chance to, there will be no housekeeping, and then there's no room service, whatever. So we're just giving you a chance to cancel before you check in.
But there
Um,
was housekeeping because they kept knocking on the
I
door. in the
know.
morning. I don't know what that is.
So it's like, well, I don't think it was housekeeping. It was more like get out so we could clean the room for the next person.
No.
So we're like, well, we can't cancel now because we're already here, and where are we gonna go? So, I just checked in and hoping because we're only staying one night. So, yeah. But then what we didn't realize was at night there was protesting going on, but we were on the 14th floor.
They were
so
smart
it
because
didn't really bother us.
they started at like 3
2
in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were going up and down, and
And then it was
yeah.
the NAM convention, so it was like a big weekend.
there's a lot of people.
So they were. Then later on I read about it, and they were supposed to reach an agreement before the NAM convention. So it was like last minute that it didn't happen. So that's why the protesting that night.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then there were a couple of people who came down and complained, like, "Hey, I didn't get to sleep, and I have that convention, and do I get a discount?" I don't know what happened with that guy, but yeah, it was the convention going on. So there are a lot of people who were staying there. We're going to the NAM convention. They're like musicians and stuff. And
Just audio stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because it's like, technically we crossed the picket line, but we didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so hopefully it was just the two Marriotts, the Sheraton, and then the one that's
the
Anaheim convention. So these were the ones where it's Marriott corporate and not franchised. They're not they're union employees at those two Marriotts. So like, Elements and stuff that doesn't count. Like don't have union employees.
Yeah, it was yeah, I mean, and they started going off. So if you were on the first few floors, it was probably
Yeah, it was probably noisy.
noisy. We were just like, gotta do it. They gotta do what they gotta do,
Yeah.
But they ended up comping our room.
Yeah. When we came home, I'm like, they only charged us for parking.
Yeah, so I had to check
So-
my card and make sure that was true. Tracy's always telling me stuff.
I looked up the
double-check it.
receipt. They're like, hey, you only charged us for parking and tax on the parking. So, yeah, they ended up comping our room.
But
Um,
that it is something that we've never talked about as far as stuff that could happen when you're,
mhm.
at the hotel. It was funny because there was we read that Reddit sign it like, hey, because somebody said what hotels are not striking, and then somebody just put Grand California, Pixar, and Disney Hotel.
I know, just the Disney on property hotels.
Yeah, it was like, well, okay,
Because at one point, the Anaheim hotel did have some strikes going on. And then once somebody.
because there's
So-
different unions.
Yeah, there's different
So-
unions. And then somebody had put, well, when they started striking or picketing at 3 a.m, they're like, well, it worked out for me because I wanted to rope drop anyway. So I got up at that time.
Yeah,
So it's like, but then if you don't want to cross the picket line, then So then I did immediately, like, we were supposed to stay at the Sheraton again this Saturday, but I did cancel it. I was like, well, kind of don't want to cross the picket line. And, we don't,
yeah.
so I canceled it. And so we're staying at a different Marriott further away that is not a franchise. I mean, is a franchise that doesn't have
Yeah.
union workers.
Yeah, yeah, but those are it's kind of one of those things you would never think to consider when planning a trip, and it doesn't really
Well,
matter.
it doesn't tell you either.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying that those are some of the things that can come up.
Yeah.
Like we talked about the dumb pickpocketing thing last week. Like this is
This is more, something to. consider.
especially in the last year, because I mean, with the auto workers, and then there was like the train, like it's becoming like the strikes are becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and it's just something that you're gonna have to consider. There might even be airline strikes. Who knows? I mean, it could
Oh,
be
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So these are things you're gonna have to, as a traveler, as somebody who goes to not just Disney but anywhere.
Anywhere.
You kind of have to at least say, I wonder. I got this cheap, but I wonder why. or,
Yeah.
or they're having this big special. Well, why is that? Like look into it.
Mhm.
Because whether or not you're for or against, unions, it could disrupt your sleep. It could disrupt your travel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
I mean, it would
into
have, huh? Because we heard it from the 14th floor. It's just that
Yeah,
we
we
were
were on
so
the very
tired
top
from
floor.
a
but
long
it-
day at Disney that we just slept through it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. So headlines. The biggest thing is that Disney's federal lawsuit against DeSantis'
dismissed.
oversight district got dismissed for failure to state a cause.
Yeah. It was basically based on standing. And
Yeah, that they didn't have
hmm
any damages.
Yeah, they're saying, well, they lashed out against us, but then, okay, well, what did they do to you so
Yeah,
far?
how did you lose money? Like,
It's
what
like, well, we
damages?
haven't yet, but
We will.
well, we will, so.
But Disney already has filed an
No.
appeal.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying if left unchallenged, this would set a dangerous precedent and give license to states to weaponize their official powers to punish the expression of political viewpoints they disagree with.
Yeah.
So they're determined to press forward with the case.
Yeah, they'll push forward, and we'll see what actually happens. I mean, I think it's kind of the right decision, because for a lawsuit you kind of have to have two things. You have to have negligence and damages, and they didn't have any damages,
Yeah,
but they will. But it's like
it's hard to show.
it's hard to show. It's like, because the state does have a right to oversee state stuff. They do have a right. If they made a deal with you, they have a right to exit that deal. But Disney's point is it was done for political motivations and to suppress speech. But then you have to show how that harms you. And
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yeah,
There's a lot of business news this week.
and that's not the only lawsuit either.
Yeah, there's more.
Mhm.
So more business news is that, remember Nelson Peltz of Tryon wants two seats on the board, the Disney board, and they are the company that is like a majority shareholder in the company. They invest over they plan to invest over $60 billion in theme parks over the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Tryon published white papers recommending for Disney changes, including seat boards for himself. So what the white paper is saying is that investors have collectively lost $200 billion in the past 3 years as Disney's stock fell.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's been like a proxy to fight with Disney for 2 seats on the board. So it's him and Rasulo, another person on Tryon. They want to kick out Maria Elena Lagomasino and Michael Froman off the board and replace them with himself and former Disney CFO Jay Rasulo.
Mm.
So, and they said what they'll do when they sit on the board, I mean, high level what the white paper says, would initiate a board-led review of Disney's creative processes and structure, and then also hope to develop a plan for achieving streaming profitability successfully finding a CEO successor, and urge theme park management to disclose expected revenues or returns on investments.
Mm-hmm.
They also told shareholders not to vote for Blackwell's Capital's 3 candidates.
Interesting.
So with that, as a result of that, Disney announced a date for the annual shareholders meeting to address these issues of nominating him and all that stuff. And that meeting will take place on April 3rd.
It's going to be an
So,
interesting call.
yeah, because their statement is that that Peltz and Trion do not possess the appropriate range of talent, skill, perspective, and/or expertise to effectively support Walt Disney Company. So that's why they didn't want to nominate them.
Yeah, but what?
They want
Yeah,
the Blackwell people to be.
Yeah, but what skill? I mean,
Yeah,
if,
what
you, if, if
skill?
you're losing, it's kind of like if you look at it from a sports standpoint, right? If you have a general manager who is losing, you might have great experience and everything, but you're losing. That you have to kind of be outcomes based, right? So if you have a losing season, it doesn't matter the CV of your general manager; he's got to go.
Yeah,
So I
And
mean, and
especially
that's kind of what he's saying. That's what
he's-
Peltz is saying, right?
and he's a big shareholder, or his company is a big
Mm.
shareholder. So you kind of have a fiduciary duty to listen to your shareholders, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the whole thing about why fans are mad at Disney now. And Provost
Oh.
talked about it.
Provost did the thing.
Yeah, he kind of like dumbed it down a little, but you get the gist of it. Fans are mad at Disney because they're not. Disney's no longer listening to fans. Why? Because they're losing money. They have a duty to their shareholders, and they have to find out ways to make more money because they're in this for profit. I mean, yeah, they're magical and all that stuff, but in the end, they are a for-profit company, and if they're losing money, they have to do something, and they owe a duty to their shareholders.
I feel like Thanos. Like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Right?
I'll just find some investors.
Well, that's what Peltz is trying to do.
I'm just gonna take it private. I'm sorry, guys. I'll just, I'll make some calls. No.
Like, why are people mad at like Meta / Facebook now? Ever since they got publicly traded on the public market, now it's like they owe a duty to somebody else. So
Yeah, they have overlords. But
Yeah.
it's the thing about it is it's not really from a fan or a guest standpoint. It's kind of like the way people feel about government. It's like most people, even people who don't like the tax rate, are more upset about, I don't see my taxes doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, it's never about, so like to a fan, it's kind of like, yeah, they got to listen to the show. They got to make money. But to a fan standpoint, it's like, if they did what the fans wanted, they would make money. Like, even though the fan might not be as sophisticated as a venture capitalist or somebody. So it's not just that fans like, well, why aren't you listening to us? It's like, if you listen to us, we'd give you more money. So, if fans are everybody's speaking from their side of the prism.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that anyone's wrong. It's more, that's just a state of any large organization, whether it's public or private.
Mm-hmm.
And you have people. It's like we were just talking about unions.
Mm-hmm.
No union. Everyone's like, well, if unions got what they want, companies would go out of business. No union wants a company to go out of business.
Yeah, because then they wouldn't have
then it's
employees, a place to work.
Unions do not, especially a union boss, right? Because if you're a union boss, your job is you get paid to run a union.
Mm-hmm.
That company disappears, you're unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anybody. So even if you got something that was a great deal, but in the back in your mind you thought this could kill the company in 3 years,
Yeah.
it's not good for you.
Right.
It's kind of like. So it still comes down to opinions. And
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yes, they have to try to do something to raise more revenue. But at the same time,
but the thing is like, to me, it's like, how much waste is there? I think, again, going back to the taxes analogy, it's like, yeah, I don't mind. California has super high taxes
Yeah.
on everything.
Yeah.
We own part of an LLC, and it's like $800 a year just to have the LLC.
Yeah.
Our taxes are expensive. Insurance, we just found out like they're knocking people off insurance because there's so many fire zones in
Yeah.
California.
For condos. Yeah.
And so you have to join a lot of people, fortunately not us yet, but a lot of people have to join the state run that charges like triple
Mm-hmm.
housing prices. So there's a huge cost just to live in California. and but the thing is that if all that stuff went, if we didn't have like a big homeless problem, if we didn't have like water distribution problems with flooding and landslides, like if we put that money into infrastructure, then I don't know if people would have as big a problem with such high costs. You see what I mean? But they're not seeing their money being used efficiently.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, how much waste? It's like what I was talking about last week. Well, not last. Was it last week? I don't know. Whatever the last podcast, I forget now.
Last week.
Was it last week? Okay. So when I was talking about, there's so much waste in just helping people get their money to them.
Yeah.
I want to give you money, and yet I'm waiting in a freaking all day line just to buy stuff. It's like, well, that hurts revenue too.
That's true.
Waste.
And that's something that the business people, the board, does not consider.
Yeah.
They're always thinking,
how much
new
waste
product,
is there?
new product, offer something new.
If you have
charge.
a new product, I mean, this is the same board that did the freaking Star Cruiser. And then it's like, yeah, we're going to charge $6,000 a pop per group. And we think that's sustainable.
But
that's not That's new revenue. Yeah, for the first month.
Yes.
That is new revenue, but it's
under
not
Nelson
sustainable.
Peltz, maybe not. So they need a new.
Having new revenue and having sustainable revenue is different.
Yeah.
They
just need a new perspective, is what he's saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he has. All
that's
these
what I'm saying. I'm agreeing more with him.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot of stuff to like, we can come out with a new churro. Okay, yeah, that's great. You got an extra $1 million for the month of April.
Right.
That's not gonna help. That's not moving the stock on a $400 billion company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not. It's so you got to.
Yeah, he wants to see where his $60 billion investment should go. And it shouldn't be on, stupid stuff. Not stupid, but stuff, like.
He's speaking as a corporate taxpayer. Like, I have an investment in this. Why is it doing, how come the money that I have I'm not seeing a return, or at least the results, or at least even an attempt for a long range solution on this. The stock has been dropping, or staying around $90 for the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
And every other company has been going up. They printed money after during the pandemic and printed money. They printed so much money for corporations, huge tax cuts. Then there was PPP. Like, there was so much money that was flooded into the market, and you're losing money. Like, no other company is losing money.
Yeah.
The stock market was rocketing.
Yeah.
So why are you, with one of the biggest brands on earth, losing money? It doesn't make sense. So I agree.
Yes. So that's it for headlines. On that note.
Oop, my thing isn't working.
Oh, no.
Let me see something.
Yeah. Oh, nothing's working.
Well, we'll just go ahead and talk about Taste Talk.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. I'll do it myself. Just kidding. Okay. So, Taste Talk this year is the Lunar New Year Festival food. I thought we'd talk about some Lunar New Year Festival stuff. So the first one is something that I really liked, which is... You trying to push all the buttons? We're recording, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Taro Vietnamese style iced coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you tasted that because
I had a sip.
No, because I drank it all before I got
did
to
you?
Well, it was because that's what I was telling someone. That I don't know if it's actually really good or I was just really thirsty and hot because I sipped it all while I was standing in line for a different booth.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was 9 out of 10, actually. So it's Vietnamese-style coffee with a taro cold foam on top. So I thought it was really good. And then the next booth we went to was Wrapped in Love or something, Wrapped with Love. And it was fried lemongrass chicken dumplings with plum sauce. And then the steamed pork and vegetable dumplings with black garlic sauce. And the fried lemongrass one, I didn't really like it. I like the way it tastes, but I didn't like the texture. It didn't taste like it was fried.
Yeah.
It tasted like it was air fried. Like it wasn't crunchy. It was chewy. So I would give that one a 5 out of 10. And then the steamed pork and vegetable dumplings with the black garlic sauce I liked, but maybe 7 or 8 out of 10. What did you think of the
Well, I give him 6 across the board.
Oh. Yeah, the last item we had from the Hollywood Studios truck was the char siu style
And I
ribs.
give that a 6 as well.
Really? You didn't like it as much?
No, I mean,
I liked it. I thought it was
I thought
like
they were all
8.
decent, but
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff, I guess I can make or my mom can make. So, but for Disney, it's not that bad.
yeah, but I mean, I guess what I'm saying is it's decent.
Yeah.
It's not. Like, would I drive to Disney and get a reservation to get it? No, but it would.
Oh, yeah.
It would. But
But
while
if
I'm
we're
there,
there and yeah, I
uh,
think it's pretty good. They've improved on their stuff.
mhm.
So yeah, so I thought they were all good.
All right. So you got dot points Disney.
Dot points coming. Disney files a construction permit for the shuttered Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. So it looks like they're gonna do
scuttled.
something with it.
The scuttled Star Cruiser.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna do something with it because they filed a permit,
Yeah.
construction permit.
They said it was $410 million to construct. So I'm like, yeah, it's a waste of money
Man,
because they definitely didn't make that back.
Sheesh.
But yeah.
And looks like our old pal Bob Chapek has a new gig. He found a new position as the board of director of Masimo, which is a global medical technology company.
Yeah.
That's exactly where he belongs
Because
because
it's not magical.
medical technology, like, yes, this is where you go. Like, this is where you belong.
It's funny because I don't think a lot of people, when they look at people who are worth tens of millions of dollars, to the average person, they don't understand, because to somebody else, like let's say somebody say they won the lottery and they got like Chapek's worth, right?
Mhm.
We know he got paid $30 million one year. He's probably been getting paid great from Disney leading up to that position.
Mhm.
You know, he's probably worth somewhere between $75 and $100 million. You know, especially with all the stocks and all the stuff he got, right? And if somebody were to win that, like an average person were to win that in the lottery, it's like I'd quit my job tomorrow. You know,
Mhm.
and so I don't think a lot of people understand the mindset of like C-suite level people.
Mm.
Like because he's in his 60s. He's probably like 63 this year, I believe.
Wow.
And they're like, why would he like go through the process of finding work? Like, are you supposed to retire? It's like they don't. Like their mindset is totally different than, you know, somebody who is like working for like UPS. You know, it has to be, they want to have impact. They want to create change. They don't care how much their money is simply a benchmark of how much people value them.
Yeah.
But it's not about getting more money for boats and cars and stuff. It's like, no, I really want to have an impact. That's what my life's about, and without that, I might as well die.
Mm.
And it's kind of a weird way.
Like a purpose.
Yeah, because people think, well, these people are just greedy, and it's like, nah, dude, because when you have that kind of money, you can live off of it. If you're a good investor, he could turn that into like $500 million if he's good. He wants to go back to work. He got another job.
Yeah.
When he was set for
Well, I
life.
mean,
His
he
grandchildren are set for life.
He was at Disney for 30 years. So it's not like he doesn't know anything about Disney, but it's maybe fits more. He did. Now this
but
is
I guess what I'm
rumored-
saying is that it's not greed.
Right.
Like they think they go and do these things because
No,
of greed.
yeah.
It's like they're very much their identity is wrapped up in impact. Like
Yeah.
how much impact can I
How
have?
much? Yeah. How much? And he's good. He's probably good at just how to increase revenue
Mm-hmm.
you know, and a medical technology company is like perfectly where he belongs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my whole thing that we would always say during the Chapek era is that, look, if you want to be in charge of Disney, you have to believe in magic. And what I would mean by that is that you can't just stick to a balance sheet, right? You have to understand what makes this brand special,
Mm-hmm.
what makes people want to give you money.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at it like, because if you're just a finance bro, you're just kind of looking at it like, dang, Disney people are just stupid. They just want to give us money. So how can we leverage that?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, let's not destroy the thing that is special about Disney that makes people want to give us money.
Yeah.
Let's not chip away at that. And it's like, it sounds like close to the same thing, but it's not,
Mm-hmm.
because your decision making is going to be different, because you do at every level of decision making want to make the quote unquote unfavorables happy.
Mm.
For one, you don't want to call them unfavorables, but you like these people who are going to probably usher in the next 2 generations of Disney goers.
Yeah.
Why would you want to end that?
Right.
It's kind of like if you have a farming town that's depending on water from a glacier or from a stream or a river, why would you want to divert that river?
Mm.
Yes, you could, in the short term, diverting that river to a fancier town that will give you more money is good, but get you some short-term gains. But those people don't care about their town. They might pick up and move next year. The people who've been using that water and paying you for that water for years and depending on it, and who need that water for future generations, those are the ones you want to keep their farms fresh,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that they keep getting their needs met. So it's it's a strange thing to do, to run Disney. It's not your normal business. It's one of the biggest B2C businesses, business to customer businesses. Most hugely profitable or just size-wise businesses are B2B.
Mm-hmm.
It's businesses selling stuff to other businesses.
Right.
Amazon's biggest thing is not selling stuff on their store. It's their servers, which Disney is actually on.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
Okay.
Disney's on Amazon servers. A lot of the government is on Amazon servers.
Mm-hmm.
That's their main business.
Mm.
The store is their write-off.
Mhm.
So that's why they don't have to pay that many taxes, because they can sell things at a loss and be like, yeah, I'm losing money here. And even though they made $1 trillion on the other side. So, yeah, it's a very strange business, because even McDonald's is probably another like B2C business, but they make sure that customers keep coming back. And if the customers aren't happy with something, they fix it really
Probably
quick.
put something addictive in their food. That's why.
Hey, if pixie dust may be addictive, it may be an addictive substance. All right,
Well,
is that it?
yes, that's it.
Okay,
we're
so
gonna move to Echo.
yeah, well, you know what?
You can't put the chime. You have to
I
do
know.
your voice.
I have to do my voice. No, if you guys don't want to be spoiled by Echo, just cut out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So, we did watch the season of Echo,
Mm-hmm.
the full season. You saw our spoiler giveaway. I already put it up there. But we just wanted to talk about it a little bit. Right now, it's sitting at let me see. I think it is on Rotten
the rating?
Tomatoes. It's 70% critic, 60% audience.
Oh.
And 60% audience is not bad. That means 6 out of 10 people liked it. That's not bad.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think it was cheap because there was no special effects.
Mm-hmm.
Not many anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think it only cost $40 million, and that sounds like a lot of money, but you get to figure Ahsoka cost $250.
Mm.
So for $40 million, it's a cheap show. They released all the episodes at once so people could binge them. And I guarantee you it would cost a lot less than Secret Invasion, which everyone hated. So you have Maya Lopez. I think she's a pretty cool character.
Mhm.
She's an amputee and deaf.
And the
the
actor,
actress.
the actress, yeah.
Lackwell Cox. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's how you pronounce it. And yeah, it was it was a good show. The powers she kind of got at the end
Mhm.
aren't the same as what's in the comics.
Mm.
But in the comics, she's basically like Taskmaster, so they already have somebody with that power set in the MCU.
Oh, you mean like mimicking?
Yeah, that was
Mm.
basically her thing
Oh, okay.
in the comic books. This is more ancient and more
Like
spiritual.
yeah, spiritual, like absorbing her ancestors' powers in a
Mhm.
way.
Yeah. And she's Choctaw. They used the Choctaw Nation.
Mhm.
They did a lot of stuff on their reservation. And the fact that they did it in their language is cool. Now, there was the other, I forget her name, in What If, the Native American.
Yeah.
She was Mohawk. And somebody's like, well, why do we need both of them? As if like we have like a Native American
If
quota.
there's a quota.
I was like, they're both cool.
Yeah.
What's the problem? But yeah, I actually like the show. I think that, and again, I'm pretty easy when it comes to MCU, but as far as grounded characters, as far as a character that a lot of people weren't familiar with because she was kind of a deep cut in the comics.
Mm.
I think it went well. I mean, there's a lot of other shows that went a lot worse.
Mhm.
Didn't cost them a lot of money. So as a shareholder, I was happy.
Yeah.
I think the acting was good. I think the Kingpin was good in it.
Yeah, the acting was very
I
good.
I think they took a lot of stuff from the Netflix Kingpin and brought it over.
Yep.
So it wasn't like you had this disjointed thing. It's like,
Mhm.
nope, the Netflix stuff is pretty much canon.
Yeah, it's more jointed than Secret Invasion.
Yeah, it actually did what the MCU was supposed to do. Like I always say, people like the MCU because of its connectivity. They connected this to another part of Marvel a lot better than a lot of the other shows did.
Yeah.
So a lot better than some movies did.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. I didn't like it as much as Loki.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I don't think it was supposed to be that grand.
Yeah.
It's street level characters. The fighting was pretty good. I would give the fighting like a C plus.
Mhm.
It wasn't like awesome, but it was better than like Iron Fist.
Yeah.
The first season of Iron Fist on Netflix. Was I thinking about bringing what's his name back for that actor? I don't know.
I thought they were just going to forget about Iron
I
Fist the
think
way they're
gonna-
going to forget about Kang.
Maybe. No, I think they're bringing him back. We'll see. But yeah, the story pretty much picks up, after she shoots the Kingpin at the end of
Hawkeye.
And then most of the show is in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
And which again probably cut down a lot on budget. Probably not a lot to film in
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Not a lot of skyscrapers. You don't need a lot of city permits that cost thousands
Yeah.
of dollars.
And there's not a lot of CGI stuff, so they don't really
Nope.
need
Yep. The only CGI is basically like the ancestors, the spirit stuff,
Mhm.
which was only in a few scenes, and
Mhm.
then the Kingpin's like
little
electronic
device.
signing thing.
That's pretty cool.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually something that Kingpin would do. He's not going to bother learning to sign.
Yeah.
He's going to
Well,
make
at
it easy,
first, I think he thought it would be like
endearing.
not efficient to keep killing off interpreters
Mm-hmm.
because like he'll have an interpreter when he talks to her,
Yeah, and
but he wants the conversation private, so he would kill off an interpreter each time
Yep.
after she's done interpreting for him.
Yeah.
So I think he found it inefficient.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, let me just get a machine. Like
And-
how the real world is.
The Kingpin is now Tracy's answer to it, right? Automate it. But then she took it personally because she was kind of like
Yeah.
Kingpin's de facto daughter.
Yeah.
And he kind of raised her, even though she called him uncle, because she had a dad until Kingpin had him killed,
Mhm.
or set him up to be killed, I should say. And it was one of those situations where she felt like if you loved me, you would learn how to communicate with me.
Yeah,
At the
because
end.
everyone, all of her family members and friends
Yeah. You had
knows how to
people
sign.
that were poor people on the reservation that knew how to sign.
Yeah, they
And
did it for
Kingpin
her,
has all the resources in the world.
and he wouldn't
He's like,
learn.
nope, I'll just get AI to do it. I'll just outsource it.
I'll just get someone to do it and keep killing them, or
Yeah.
get AI. Yeah.
Exactly. So that, and I think that's the part where when she said, you didn't even bother to learn to sign at the end, I was like, oh, yeah. Like if I had a daughter who was deaf, it would be a no-brainer. You would learn to sign.
Yeah.
You know? And it was such a throwaway line and it was quick, but I liked it because I think that was very good writing
Yeah.
in that moment. I do, as far as her character, yeah, she's kind of a stubborn brat, but but you kind of put up with
But the
her
trauma,
more. She's very
There's so much
traumatized.
trauma.
You put up with her more than, like, I know how you don't like Ariel, because
Yeah.
she wouldn't listen and she's kind of
Yeah,
want
but
to
she
does
had
what
no
she wants.
trauma.
This one, at least she had a reason to be mean,
Yeah.
and she was a raised killer. Everything in her life, her mother died in front of her because of like gang related stuff.
And she's an actual villain, right, in the comics. She's
Yeah.
a villain. So,
An anti-hero, I guess, kind of villain, borderlines villain, yeah.
maybe she's going to join the
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Villainish heroes, anti-hero, whatever.
Yeah, probably. I think she's probably gonna stick to the New York crime stuff. But
Yeah.
so I liked her. She wasn't I like the fact that her disabilities, you forgot about them by the
Mhm.
second episode.
Mm-hmm.
So even though everything was, because you got to figure, half the, I would say, like, if you take like 100% of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
25% of it is in English.
Yes.
Then you have like half the show is her signing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have another 25% of the show is in Choctaw.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you have the show that when you think about the complexity, you have two languages that aren't English,
Yes.
and it still flowed.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a pretty good thing, because like when I'm watching like a Korean film or a Korean show and you're watching subtitles, you do have to kind of like pay attention.
Yeah. Go
Like,
back and forth. Yeah.
This flow just like it was in English,
Yeah.
even though there's two languages I don't know.
Right.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that I had to like, have a coffee before the show or
Right,
anything.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I
Yeah.
gotta really. So that was pretty cool and pretty slick. So I like that. And yeah, as somebody who had two disabilities, she had he's an amputee and she's deaf. It didn't really make a difference
Right.
in the show. And I think that's the way you do diversity and inclusivity well, is that when you don't notice they're there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you acknowledge that they're there,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like that wasn't the theme of the show.
So can Echo lip read?
A little bit,
Oh, okay.
in the comics she can, yeah, but yeah, she's just kind of, when there's something, but it also shows that how adults just adapt. Like somebody who has a disability their entire life,
Mm-hmm.
like it's really not a disability anymore, because you just know how to adapt.
Yeah.
If somebody can't understand you, it's like, you just point at this or you do this. Or
Yeah.
It's not like they didn't have these scenes where it's like, oh, what's she gonna do with it?
Yeah, right.
Because it's like, dude, she's in her 20s. She's
Because
dealt with this
again-
her whole life. That would be dumb, right?
Because again, I still don't know how she and Daredevil communicates. That's why I'm just wondering. Can she
Well,
lip
she's gonna
read?
be in Daredevil.
That's
so
what
you're
I'm
gonna
saying.
see.
Like, how are they gonna talk
That
or
it's-
communicate?
He could probably read. He could probably sense her hand movements. They gave him a power up since the Netflix shows. So
He can
his
sense her
of-
movement, but if she just wanted to tell him something,
Yeah, he could probably sense her signs.
oh,
Yeah, but I do think it would be kind of, and I would treat it as humor, if because their first thing was just a fight. They just fought.
yeah, they just fought.
And he's like talking to her like, huh, yeah, you're pretty good. And this, and
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
She can't hear him, so she's just
She just
trying to
doesn't
kill
know
him.
what he's saying. She's like, dude, I'm gonna beat you. That's all I care.
And then
Oh.
Kingpin's all happy. He's like, most of my guys can't hang with him for a minute,
Yeah,
you hung
right.
with them. Which is cool too, because it shows the history that Kingpin already has a history with Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're starting over.
Right, right.
So at least in the MCU, maybe not exactly everything is in the Netflix series happened, but Kingpin's been dealing with Daredevil for a while.
Yeah. Well, he's
So-
supposed to be already did time in jail and out right now.
Supposedly.
Because Daredevil put him in jail and then
Yeah. So it's apparent that Kingpin really loves her, but
Mhm.
it's also shows Kingpin as a complex character and about his trauma and why he is the way he is. Because a lot of times they didn't take the route of Kingpin is just evil for evil's sake.
Mhm.
He's a killer. He's a horrible person, right? But at the same time, he was, he came from a domestic violence home. Yeah, he was very much
I
a
think at the
consequence of the
end
action.
she did something to him where he would to address his trauma, and he's
Yeah.
like, "What did you do to me?" Like, what did
She
she
brought
do?
it to the surface, I think.
Oh,
He deals with his trauma by beating and
Beating.
killing other people.
Yeah.
He became like his father.
instead of addressing it,
Instead
I
of
guess.
yeah, and she just brought all the emotions to the surface, and he's like, "Wah!" and then he
He's
ran.
like, "What'd you do to me?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she actually tried to heal him, I think,
Oh.
because her powers in the MCU apparently are more healing based,
Mm.
and he was just like, which is kind of a cool dichotomy because she's an assassin.
Yeah.
An assassin that can heal is kind of like this, you know what I mean? It's like which side will she choose, right? But yeah, it made him human, even though he's a horrible human. It made him human. So I was looking at it from more of a writing standpoint and a story development standpoint, and I thought it did well. Was it great, like fantastic? No, but
But it was good.
I would say that I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Ant-Man, Quantumania.
Mm.
I enjoyed
I
it.
think it's like Moon Knight level for
Yeah,
me.
it was like Moon Knight. Yeah. It was Moon Knight level, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think that, it's a lot of people are always looking for like, well, can you build a universe around this? Can you? No, it's part of a universe on the street level characters, and I think it's a good start.
Ah.
You know,
Yeah, street level, like not cosmic level,
Not
like
cosmic.
Avengers, but more like the
and she's not good. And
Defenders.
she's not Captain America, so she's not somebody that you're going to build a team around. But she's a good insert into a team.
Mhm.
So I thought it did what it set out to do.
Mhm.
And going into Daredevil, I think that since she's going to be a part of Daredevil, I think it's going to be an asset. And I'm now looking forward to Daredevil with more confidence.
Yeah.
I was already looking, because they scrapped everything in Daredevil and they're starting over.
Starting over.
But I think it did well, especially after there's so much sour taste. There's so much of a sour taste for the MCU right now.
Yeah.
I think it was, I liked it better than. There's only a couple shows. I mean, out of all the MCU shows, I think I only liked Loki better and WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm kind of tied with Miss Marvel for third with this one.
Mm.
Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and Echo are probably tied for third.
Yeah, they're probably in the same
It's better than She-Hulk. It's better than Hawkeye. It's better than the
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Captain. Yeah, the Falcon and Winter Soldier I liked because of the different locales and action, and it just kind of it was kind of it was good for what it was. A lot of people didn't like it. They thought it was too preachy.
I like the action part of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
Sometimes I don't like too much of that mystical stuff.
like Moon Knight or
Yeah, I mean, I like Moon Knight, but I like all that God of Thunder and cosmic stuff. Like
Oh,
I don't
cosmic
like
stuff.
Guardians and as much. I mean, I like the movie, but sometimes I just need a old fashioned street level stuff. And Falcon and Winter Soldier was kind of like that.
That's why people I know this is an MCU. That's why people kind of don't like a lot of the comic or modern versions of Batman in the comics because he's like with the Justice League and they just want him as the detective on the ground
Yeah.
fighting
Yeah.
the Joker and the Penguin and
Yeah.
solving crimes. I like Batman as a cosmic kind of force because it shows to me, it's hard to explain, but it's just kind of the martial artist in me. I like it when a normal human being can make a difference on a cosmic level.
Me too. That's why I like Falcon and Winter Soldier because Sam doesn't have it. Sam's like Batman. He doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the super soldier serum, but he can.
I just
fight.
never really liked the Falcon as a character because I thought the wings are dumb. I never really liked that.
Well, now
But-
they're made of vibranium.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's kind of cool. I just thought it's kind of dorky. I have mechanical
I know.
wings.
And what is it, Winter Soldier? He's like, here, call this a resume. Remember? I
Yeah.
thought that line was so stupid.
Yeah. I never really liked his character, but I do like people who
Are normal.
who are normal, who can figure things out. Because to me, it's more like people who love There's two types of people. And this is again not MCU. This is DC based, but there are Superman lovers and Batman lovers. And they don't like each other, and we would used to argue as kids.
Yeah.
About you like
you
and
always
people
like-
and people always like Superman's so powerful, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but he's an
and-
alien.
And my whole thing was like people who like Superman are people who are always looking to be rescued. People who like Batman can rescue themselves.
Right. Right. That's why I like Hawkeye and Black Widow and stuff because they're just humans. They don't have even Iron Man. Even
Yeah.
they don't have all this God whatever and super soldier serum.
Yeah, and I do like the Thor and stuff, but I like it when they fight more powerful things.
Yeah.
Thor, like old Superman stuff, Thor stopping a bank robber doesn't do anything for me.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, what are you doing? Even Captain America is too powerful for a lot of.
He has a serum. Like he's
you
like
know,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
They have enhanced powers.
It's like
Just be just normal human who fights. Black Widow, Hawkeye, Iron Man.
Yeah, Captain America is his principles that are good.
Yeah.
Not to you,
Right.
but at least he stands on business, right?
Yeah.
He will go. He does not care if it's a Hydra agent with no powers or he'll go toe to toe with Thanos. He will. So I respect him for that.
He
You
did,
know,
and
yeah.
that's why.
And Echo is that type of person. She's dark,
Uh-huh.
but and I think it's time to give away our giveaway clue. Is basically it's time for a queen.
Mm,
So just
it's time for a queen.
yeah, and people say, well,
We have
it's-
Valkyrie already.
Yeah,
She's a king queen.
Yeah.
Valkyrie.
she's a king.
She's a king.
That's her official title in the MCU.
Oh,
King of Asgard.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she is. She said it's time for a queen in the show, and it's probably one of the only one-liners she has. 'Cause, she doesn't speak.
Oh, I see. Because Kingpin. So
Yeah.
now it's time for
She
a
says
queen.
it's kingpin. And she said it's time for a queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just direct message that it's time for a queen to Instagram, Facebook, or info@roughdroppingknowledge.com. And you got to write down the date because we always forget the date on our spoiler giveaways. So we're giving away our main giveaway on the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this one. You know what? Let's do this one earlier than the 24th. Let's do it on the 17th of February.
Okay. Make sure you listen and message us.
Yep.
For some competition.
It's time for a queen. And I already put it's a Funko Pop Maya Lopez Echo. That's her name, Maya Lopez in the show. Her real character's name. and it's a limited edition, I think.